episode of Hot Topics. I'm Patrick, filling in for Jonny, who's still away. We also have
Brian again, Topher,
Kevin,
and Donovan behind the camera.
hello.
So it's been an interesting week for all of us, but especially for Kevin. Kevin, one of the big employers here in Vancouver, eBay, actually just announced that they were going to be closing one of their offices at the end of August, which obviously affects Kevin because he works there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened?
eBay opened their office in Vancouver about 6 years ago. And obviously the economic climate was different then for the world, or the United States and North America and the world at large, but also in Vancouver, and especially for eBay. And so we were growing really quickly and that kind of stuff. So it made sense at the time to have some redundancy. And they made a decision at this point that it's not actually tied to the economy per se, but the economy is obviously affecting eBay's business as a whole. And at this point, it just doesn't make sense to have two different centers. So they've closed the Vancouver one.
And did you start when you lived in the States?
I did, yeah. So I'm originally from Salt Lake City, Utah, and our first office was there. Our first customer support office was there, and that's the one that they're going to keep.
So how does that affect you?
So I've been laid off. So if anybody wants to hire me,
Kevin at Homorazzi.com.
Yeah. I'm not joking.
Partial nudity is okay. Partial nudity is okay.
So there's the center here employed about 700 people, and everybody, for all intents and purposes, everybody's been laid off. There are a few exceptions, of course, of people that might be transferring back to the States and whatever. And yeah, the center will be closed by September 30th, and people are going to be looking for jobs starting at the beginning of July, which is when people will first start leaving in terms of their severance and that kind of
Crazy.
stuff.
Well, this is the first time that I've actually, out of all my friends here in Vancouver, that I know they're saying it's not recession, but where somebody's been kind of laid off. So
Yeah.
have you guys noticed any changes in your companies because of the recession?
No, not my company, but I've heard of a couple, especially in the gaming industry. It's been kind of hit a little bit. EA closed one of their development studios, Black Box, and laid off 600 people. HSBC has been moving a lot of stuff offshore. I don't know, on a little bit of a bright side, Pixar just announced that they're going to open a studio here.
Oh, wow.
And hire about 100 people.
Wow.
So,
Graphic artists.
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be focused on short films. So the kind of stuff you see at the beginning of the Pixar films is going to be starting to be produced in Vancouver. So that'll be good because all the Emily Carr and BCIT students, they kind of want to take that stuff and instead of having the brain drain and then leave and go to the States all the time. So Vancouver and Pixar should be a good marriage. And then maybe they'll bring Disney along and we'll get Canada Disney.
Well, speaking of movies, the Star Trek movie just came out, and I haven't had a chance to see it, but I heard it was really good. I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
I don't know, I couldn't tell, there's too many lens flares in it. It was that bridge is so goddamn shiny. There are lens flares, and J.J. Abrams loves doing this, putting lens flares, and they took a little bit from Battlestar 2, where all the action scenes are really close up and shaky. So the camera is supposed
Just
to
for
be
special effect?
yeah, which kind of makes sense if the camera was on shaky ground, if there's an explosion and the camera would shake. But when you're in space, it doesn't really make sense for the camera to shake. And it really takes away, the Bourne Identity was really guilty of this too, shaking the camera so much that audiences, some people puked, and it was just kind of you couldn't tell what was going on.
I did that for Blair Witch.
Oh, it didn't affect me at all, but... So in terms of the
well, that's just style. The movie was very, very entertaining. It's very funny, and it's got a lot of throwbacks to people who have watched the original series.
So in terms of the whole storyline of the original series, where does this movie fall in?
It's kind of a clever reboot. They're doing it's a reboot of the Star Trek original series. All of the original characters are in the movie, like Kirk and Spock and the Dr. Bones and but I don't know. I don't want to give away too many plot stuff, but it makes sense.
Do they do the beam me up Scotty thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scotty's in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
You can't have Star Trek and not beam me up, Scotty.
I know. I actually never followed it, but I always thought it looked so cheesy that I never watched it.
No, it's brilliant. And I'll tell you, I don't actually like Star Trek. I don't watch the TV show. I never really have watched it. I'm a geek, but I'm not that geek. And
As I zoom in on Kevin.
Because I find out last week that you played
No, we're not
Magic-
talking about this. We're not
Magic-
talking about this.
So don't give me no geek, I'm no geek.
What did you play?
Bunch of geek.
No, I don't anymore. I did for a while.
Magic.
There's a card game called Magic the Gathering. Ooh, it's so, yeah, it's geeky.
Was that during the breaks between Dungeons and Dragons, or was that?
I found out lots of stuff during
That was
Hot
on
Topics.
off nights.
And
Yeah.
Me
and
with
all
his
the
red
visual
dress
club.
last week, and
Yeah. I don't know, but Brian sure hasn't said much, so let's talk about it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the movie, no.
No.
And I
Are you
don't have
going to
any
see it?
idea what this magic card frightens me.
It should. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, I would love to go see it. I think that the lead character, and I assume it's Kirk, the gentleman who's playing
Chris
this,
Pine.
is very handsome.
He's gorgeous.
Um,
And there's
what is
a
he
nice
from?
little scene in him.
The thing with him is like I never thought he was good looking. Yeah, I think he's good looking Star Trek. But when he was in that Lindsay Lohan movie, I'm like, ew, he's nasty. And then what happened in 2 years?
His body is nice. There's pictures of him running around topless on the street.
Yeah, I thought you were going to write an article on that.
You're so creepy.
Creepy. Whatever, it's public. It's not like it's whatever. Homorazzi.
well, I guess the three of us still have to see it, so maybe we'll watch it and let you guys know what we think. But that's another episode of Hot Topics. We'll see you guys next time.
When I grow up, I wanna